What the frig happened to Killer Instinct? But after dominating the fighting scene in its early years, Killer Instinct vanished for nearly 3 decades, only to come back and then disappear again. What exactly happened to Killer Instinct, and why has one of the most legendary fighting franchises gone silent? Let's explore the rise, fall and mysterious disappearance of Killer Instinct. The rise of Killer Instinct. To understand what made Killer Instinct so special, we have to go back to 1994, when the arcade scene was booming and games like Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat were dominating cabinets everywhere. Fighting games were in their golden age, and developers at Rare, backed by Nintendo, wanted a piece of that action. Visually, Killer Instinct stood out as well. It used a technique called pre-rendered 3D graphics, an approach where character models were created in 3D and then compressed into 2D sprites. It gave the game a sharp, futuristic look that blew minds back in 1994. No one had seen anything like it in arcades. Plus, its roster was electric and unique. From the hulking cyborg Fulgor to the fire being Cinder and the dinosaur Riptor. The game had character design that stuck with players long after they left the arcade. And just 2 years later, Rare doubled down on their success with Killer Instinct 2, a sequel that aimed to refine and expand what made the first game such a hit. In 1996, the arcade version dropped, boasting smoother animation and updated combo system. The biggest new mechanic? Combo breakers. While combo breakers existed in the first game, they became a more prominent feature in the sequel, making battles even more intense as players could disrupt their opponent's attacks mid-combo. But while Killer Instinct 2 was successful, the real next step for the franchise came with Killer Instinct Gold, an enhanced port of the arcade game for the Nintendo 64 Gold. Refined the formula for home consoles, offering slightly updated Part 3, the hiatus. What happened? Killer Instinct Gold was released in 1996, and after that, nothing. What happened? The short answer is that Rare, the studio behind the franchise, was shifting focus. Around the time Killer Instinct was winding down, Rare was working on other massive projects with Donkey Kong Country and Banjo-Kazooie. These titles cemented Rare as one of the best developers of the 90s. But in 2002, things changed when Microsoft acquired Rare, now working on Xbox exclusives like Grabbed by the Ghoulies and Cameo. The studio shifted its focus, leaving the Killer Instinct franchise to gather dust. Part 4, the revival. In 2013, after more than 15 years in limbo, Killer Instinct finally returned. Microsoft knew that bringing back such an iconic series would be a win for the Xbox One's launch lineup, and the new Killer Instinct was a fresh take on the franchise. Developed initially by Double Helix and later by Iron Galaxy, the game adopted a free-to-play model, introducing a rotating roster of 3 characters. The core combat was as fast and frenetic as ever, but the game introduced new mechanics like the combo assist system, which made it easier for newcomers to jump in while still offering depth for veterans. Plus, it revamped the classic roster, adding new characters like Sadira and Aganos. Part 5, Tournaments and Community Support. For a while, it seemed like Killer Instinct was back for good. The game was a hit in the competitive scene, making appearances at major fighting game events like Combo Breaker and Evo. Its unique mechanics and fast-paced action won over a loyal community of players. Part 6, the decline. Where did it go? But after 3 successful seasons, the update slowed down. By 2017, the developers at Iron Galaxy had moved on, and Microsoft had stopped pushing the game. Why? The game's niche appeal and its home on the Xbox One, a console that never quite gained the dominance of its competitors, may have played a role. Part 7. The future of Killer Instinct. Now, years later, fans are still asking, what's next for Killer Instinct? Microsoft has teased that the door isn't closed, but as of now the franchise remains in hibernation. Could we see another revival? Only time will tell. So, is Killer Instinct gone for good, or do you think it can make a triumphant return? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's talk about what the future could hold for this iconic series. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're a fan of deep dives into fighting game history, because we get plenty more where that came from. Until next time, viewers, keep those Mortal Kombat